Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra.
Hey guys, and welcome to What If Naruto Was Sanemi's Reincarnation. Now, this one right here gonna be spicy because I'm not gonna treat this as if my other what ifs like I do in the past, trying to go through the story. This is gonna be like a 5-part video. This is only gonna stretch towards 5 parts because I can get through Naruto in like 5 parts and everything. So I don't really need to basically elongate this series that much. Some Demon Slayer series are gonna be elongated like that, but not necessarily this one. Now, depending on how I feel, it could stretch into 6 parts, but I'm going to necessarily keep it at 5 parts depending on how good this series do. Now with that, I'm not going to waste you guys' time any longer, so let's just get into the story. So we're going to start off with Naruto being like 6 years old, right? So when he goes to protect the bullies from Hinata, the bullies basically they scar Naruto on the face with the kunai and call him a demon, and this is what pisses Naruto off to an extreme level. He basically fights the bullies off and beats the hell out of them. Now, this right here, Naruto ended up having to go to the hospital about that. He had protected Hinata, but he ended up having to go to the hospital about that. And basically, the Nine Tails, whatever was on that knife, it ended up the Nine Tails could heal it, but basically it just left a scar there. So basically, Naruto has a scar on his face at the moment. So with that being said, Naruto's attitude would start to change only a little bit. Only a little bit. But after that point right there, Naruto basically started, he still was his happy self, but it was starting to shift. The colors of the world were starting to shift. So now we're going to do like a whole time skip to when Naruto is basically, 9 years old. Now, the Mizuki events are going to happen a way lot sooner. So basically, Mizuki is going to tell Naruto that in order for him to ever have a chance in graduating the exam, he's going to need to steal the Scroll of Ceilings. So he does that, and then he ends up going back to where Mizuki told him to meet up at. He asks Mizuki, "So, do I pass now?" And Mizuki looks at Naruto with a very sadistic smile on his face and tells him, "No, you don't pass, you damn demon." And he slashes Naruto across the chest with his kunai twice, giving Naruto those similar scars to what Sanemi has on his chest. Now, this is where Naruto would look at his sensei with a very shocked expression on his face. Like, "Why are you doing this? What did I do to you?" Now, Naruto would jump back as Mizuki looks at Naruto, and he tells Naruto that, "You want to know the reason why everyone hates you in this village? Why you haven't been able to make friends is because you're a demon, Naruto. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody will support you, ever. You're the reason you caused so much pain in this village. You're the demon. And nobody will ever become friends with something like you." Now, this would shock Naruto to his core. So this is the reason why he's been alone most of his life. Naruto, the colors in the world would start to shift. Naruto's, the personality, everything would just start to basically fade away. Now, for you manga readers, if you out there knowing that Naruto had the same drip that Sanemi wore when he was a kid, I'm pretty sure you go out there in the manga and search it up what happened when Sanemi was a kid. I'm not going to get into any Demon Slayer spoilers while I'm doing a Naruto whatever, so you ain't got to worry about that. But if you're interested in that, I highly doubt, go over to Plot Armor and watch one of his videos, and he'll show you he'll basically go through everything, all the description for Sanemi. So yeah, with everything being said, let's get back into the video. Small tangent aside. So with that, Naruto's colors would start to fade. He would start to shift. And Naruto's eyes would just start to have veins in them. Because Naruto, before he gave Mizuki the scroll, he read a few jutsu in there. Naruto would look at Mizuki with disdain and anger in his face. And Naruto would then say, "Multi Shadow Clone Jutsu." Naruto would puff and 4,000 Shadow Clones would be around Mizuki. And they would just start to mercifully I don't know how to put it. You get it. You get what I mean. But they would just start to beat down on Mizuki so much. I mean, so much. Stomping him down, punching him, bones cracking, all of that. Naruto is basically going ape shit on Mizuki right now. And once he stops, he just lets out a breath. Then this is where Iruka shows up and he looks at Naruto and says, Naruto, I'm sorry, Iruka. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't know that stealing this is a huge offense. This guy, well, my sensei, it's tricked me. He would tell Iruka everything, and he would be shocked that Mizuki was going to betray the village like that. He would hand Iruka back the scroll, and they would just journey back to everything with the ninja escorting Mizuki to jail. So everything would play out, but Naruto, he wouldn't be himself anymore. Noticing that he's alone and that he's a demon, he keeps his distance from people and he shuns people. He doesn't even talk to Sasuke anymore. Now, once that whole Uchiha village thing happens, it doesn't necessarily upset Sasuke. It kind of pushes him more towards learning about Naruto. And him and Naruto have that off and on type of relationship, but Naruto is basically considered to be most likely an asshole. And you can get that from most of his classmates is the reason why Naruto's acts like that. Now, over the course of the few years, like say for example before Naruto turned 12, so basically he had a whole full 3 years to train, even though 8 years, 9, 10, 11. So basically he had a whole 3 years to train. So with that, Naruto would have came up with the first two forms of his wind breathing. Naruto came up with the idea of wind breathing when the third Hokage showed him his elements. Now, he showed him his nature chakra, and Naruto has a strong affinity for wind. So he's going to use that to his ability. So Naruto has been practicing his ass off, trying to learn as much wind breathing as he could. So basically what Naruto's first steps was for the first year is to get a good handle on total concentration breathing. So he did that, and then he got a handle on total concentration constant. Being able to sleep, being able to do it periods out along the throughout the day. So yeah, even while he's asleep, even while he's working out, even while he's meditating, Naruto has managed to master total concentration constant. Now, with all that being said, Naruto basically has been training in his breathing styles a long time. So not like saying, for example, he's training in wind breathing or nothing like that. He's just been training in just basic breathing styles and even getting to the advanced levels. Now with that, Naruto often sees Sasuke and he sees what he went through. He sees the pain that he went through. So one day when they're in the academy, and this is before the final day of the academy, even though they're 12 years old, this is not the final day of the academy. You still got 2 more days before they reach the final exam. He even tells Sasuke that, you should quit the exam, Sasuke. After everything you've been through, after all the pain that you just suffered, you're really trying to go through that again? No. You're weak. You need to stop this right now. You need to go on, have a family, and live your life, a normal and peaceful life. You have no business being a ninja. You don't even have talent. You are pathetic, Sasuke. He would tell Sasuke this a lot, and Sasuke would just get flashbacks of his brother telling him the same thing. You're too weak right now. If you want the same eyes as me, then you must kill a certain best friend of yours. Now, Itachi would then disappear from this, but Sasuke would then tell Naruto to shut up. You don't know anything about me, but this would rile Sasuke out, like I told you. Sasuke is not the same Sasuke when he was from canon. He's not cold or nothing like that. He's more outspoken about his feelings. Say, for example, he's like Naruto was in canon, but he's more outspoken with his feelings. He's not emo. So he tells Naruto to shut up, and that he looks at Naruto as a brother, and he looks at Naruto as someone he cares about. Why would you say something like that? And Naruto would just look to rub his head to the side. Just turn his head to the side and tell Sasuke that you have no business becoming a ninja. You need to quit right now. Or otherwise, you're going to get yourself killed, or you're going to go down the wrong path because you want to kill your brother. And Sasuke would tell him that I don't want to kill my brother. At first I was just full of anger. I was full of hatred. Of course, I at that time I wanted to nothing more just to kill him and give him the same feeling he gave to our parents. But I want to know the truth. I want to know why he did it. I want to know what pushed my brother to killing our whole clan. I just don't want to kill him off a blind rage. Naruto just basically tisks at this and turns his head back to Sasuke, looking at Sasuke with crazy eyes. And he tells him that if you get in my way, I won't hesitate to kick the shit out you. And Sasuke is put aback by this. Even Sakura is put aback by this. Most of the kids in their class are listening to this, and they know Naruto's attitude is very angertistic like that. So they pretty much just stay out of Naruto's way. One day when Ino and Sakura were trying to argue over who's sitting next to Sasuke, and Naruto walks into the classroom, he would say, "Get the hell out of my way, you two bimbos." And this is where they would just basically move aside and say, "Yeah, sorry about that." And Naruto would just walk casually aside them. And this is where Naruto would stop and he would look at them. And Naruto would have veins in his arms, but he would turn around and have a crazy look on his face. And he says, "If any one of you are on my team, I swear to God, I'm going to have a bitch fit. Both of you are weak. I hope to God I don't get anyone like you. Give me someone like Hinata on my team, because at least she shows promise. At least she shows skill in training. But the both of you," Naruto just grabs his face and looks at Sakura and Ino. "The both of you would just get in my way. That's all you're good for. You should quit being ninja. The both of you are weak. You do not deserve to be a ninja, because this is not a game. This is not fun to find your husband of the day. This is life or death. And to be honest, the moment you two step foot on a team is the moment that you're considered real ninja, and the moment that your life could just be snuffed out just like that." Naruto turns away and he just says one more thing. "Sakura, is it something about you? If you're on this team, be prepared to be in your world's worst nightmare, because you're going to experience so much physical conditioning, training, what's named ninjutsu training, everything. I'm going to make you into a well-rounded ninja if you're on this team." And Sakura would feel the weight from Naruto's words from this. And Naruto even said, "I might even try teaching you a breathing style. Maybe. If you basically pique my interest. If I don't end up liking you, then I just train you the normal way, the more brutal way." Now, with that being said, of course, the final day would come, graduation would come, and everyone would graduate. Yeah, of course, Naruto would graduate, summoning as many shadow clones as he could when he learned the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Now, with that, they would, of course, get the same instructor and have to wait. And this is where Naruto would look at Sakura with a smile on his face. And this is where he says, "Your training starts now, Sakura. Push-ups. On the ground." And Sakura would be shaking by this because she's now terrified of Naruto. And Sasuke would say, "Don't talk to her like that, Naruto. You gotta be more stern. You can't be an ass and talk to people like that." And this is where Naruto would go to punch Sasuke directly in the stomach as Sasuke falls to his knee. And this is where Naruto would say, "You should train more if you're gonna talk back to me, Sasuke. I've been putting my blood, sweat, and tears into mastering my craft. I can say without a doubt that I'm ahead of both of you right now. I'm stronger than both of you." And this is where Sasuke would say, "Oh yeah," he gets back up. And this is where Naruto would say, Tell me something, Sasuke. Do you know how to activate your dojutsu? That famous dojutsu of the Uchiha clan." And Sasuke would say, right. And he would kick Sasuke directly in the stomach again. This is where Naruto would turn towards Sakura, and he would tell Sakura with a look on his face. Naruto has veins in his eyes, and he's looking down at Sakura. Now, Sakura is damn frightened at Naruto, because who wouldn't be? This kid has scars on his face and chest. Naruto has acquired, I'm sorry if I didn't mention, but yeah, Naruto has acquired the same drip as Sanemi. Basically, the shirt, the pants, everything. You see the picture on your screen right now. He acquired the same drip as Sanemi, and he He's even got the same sword as Sanemi. He's carrying his sword around him. But of course, he's not going to use it. It's always like basically in his hand. So he looks at Sakura, and Sakura just begins doing push-ups. And she figures out that, like, doing push-ups with her excellent chakra control. She uses her chakra control, but Naruto tells her not to do that. Don't use chakra control. Use your own muscles. Train. Now, do the push-ups, Sakura. As she would be doing push-ups as long as Kakashi took her to get there. She would be doing a whole bunch of continuous exercises, rigorous exercises for Naruto. Now, Naruto would be sitting there and he would tell Sakura, now it's time to spar. After she just got done doing a bunch of sit-ups, a bunch of pull-ups, a bunch of push-ups, and all these other, like, access workouts. Now, Sakura's body is heavily fatigued right now. And Sasuke did join in just to help Sakura out with that because he wanted to get stronger too, and he wanted to see what Naruto's training all about, but he necessarily didn't want Sakura to do this all by herself with someone like Naruto, since, like, Naruto basically is a genin with a lot of anger issues, and that's from what everybody's noticed from Naruto. But you can't really blame Naruto for the way he sees the world, because first of all, he was told something that basically just shattered him, and then basically two bullies basically scarred his face when he was protecting someone who he didn't even get a thank you from. So yeah, Naruto right now is just not feeling like being happy-go-lucky. Naruto is just angertistic right now, but it will start to shift once we start to grow with the episode. Anyway, so with that being said, this is where Kakashi would journey and come on to meet Team 7. Now, he meets Team 7 doing a bunch of training with Naruto issuing the training. Now, once he opens the door, he sees that Naruto blitzes Sakura and punches her directly in the stomach and sends her crashing into a wall. Now, Kakashi would see this and say, Naruto! And he would say, relax, sensei. I'm just training these two. And Sasuke would see this attack coming and get into a taijutsu bout with Naruto, to which Naruto would get excited by, and the both of them would be fighting. And this is where Kakashi would just come in and spread the both of them apart and say, I'm here now, come to the roof. That's enough training for right now. And this is where Kakashi would just exit the room, and then he would stop before saying, you know, you three are very interesting. I look forward to seeing the fruits of what you become. Now, he would disappear, and this is where Naruto would walk over to Sakura, and he would grab her by the arm and just say, get off your ass. This is only the half of your training, but be prepared for tomorrow, because I have a good feeling that this guy is going to be late again. So they would journey up to the roof, and of course Sasuke this time would say that he wants to change the Leaf Village for the better, and he wants to become Hokage. He wants to basically open up someone's heart to the light, and he looks at Naruto. He says that he wants to basically change his whole attitude. Naruto just tips by this. Sakura then says, she looks at Naruto, who's looking at her with a very crazed look. And it's like he's daring her to say something stupid. I want to be a strong Kunoichi. And that's it. She looks down, and Naruto says, pathetic. Now, this is what makes Sakura basically just have a worried look on, like a sad look on her face. But, of course, Kakashi would go to Naruto, and Naruto would say, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. There's not a lot of things I like, and there's not a lot of things I dislike in this world. But it's a list growing, and that list is growing ever long. But I don't feel like telling any of you that. I don't feel like telling you my hobbies or my dreams. So piss off. As Naruto just basically sits back down and looks to his left. And Kakashi would say, well, you guys are an interesting bunch, I can say that much. So meet me at the training field tomorrow at 8 a.m. And one thing, do not eat or you'll puke. Now, Kakashi would then basically disappear. And this is where Naruto would grab Sakura by the wrist and say, so we still got a lot of time throughout the day. Now, let's get back to training. Now, of course, Sasuke would join because he doesn't want, like I said earlier, he doesn't want Sakura to experience all that torture by herself. Now, of course, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be training throughout most of the day, and then they would journey home. Sakura would be having to stuttering all over the place. Now, Sakura would have to get carried by Sasuke on her way home because Naruto wasn't going to do it. He was going to leave her ass dead on the training field and come back the next day and put her through more of that torture. Yeah, So Naruto went home, and Sasuke would just say, how cruel is he? Now, once Naruto gets home, Naruto unsheathes his blade and goes out back to the training field and starts training. Then he says, wind breathing, dust wind whirl, cutter. Now, Naruto, once he starts to breathe, and he says wind breathing, dust wind whirl cutter, and throws out this slash, basically going like dashing forward with such speed and throwing out these multiple wind slashes, cutting trees in half and doing some like impressive damage right now. So Naruto just basically breathes in and he says, second form, wind breathing. Now, while Naruto is mastering forms 1, 2, and 3 of his wind breathing, Naruto is out there training very rigorously, doing handstand push-ups, kicking the tree, punching the tree, backsteering his total concentration constant. Naruto is doing everything in the book right now as he's training very hard. Now, once he gets done, Naruto's body is just doused in sweat as he's just breathing out. And he just says one word, did I ever have a family? Now, and that's where I'm going to end the 14,000 subscriber special off for you guys. Now, I want to see how this video does. Now, this part is necessarily going to stretch into 5 parts, but it's only judging to how the first video is going to do. So if the first video does well, I'll stretch this video out into 5 parts. But if it does like say, for example, somewhere in like the middle, then I'll just stretch it out into like 4 or 3 and explain Naruto on that. But I'll basically explain it in a lot of details so you guys can get the gist of it. Because I'm going to make this very spicy because I already like the way that first episode is going. But without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and plus ultra. Good night, guys.